Hi, my name is Agnieszka, and on behalf of my colleagues Johan and Erik, I will present our paper about online terms and conditions and how the user interface design affects users. This research is a result of a project founded by the Swedish Consumer Agency and was conducted at the Service Research Center at Karlstad University in Sweden. I want to start by telling you a story. In 2010, April's Fool Day, e-commerce store GameStation included the following text in their terms. By placing an order via this website on the first day of the fourth month of the year 2010, Anno Domini, you agree to grant us a non-transferable option to claim from now and forevermore your immortal soul. Of course, this was a part of the joke, but the fact is that until today, they own immortal souls of 7,500 people because most of the users do not notice the clause in the terms. Such blind agreements to terms and conditions happen for many reasons. For instance, the texts are too long. There is nothing we can do but to agree. But sometimes such blind agreements may result from a poorly designed user interface, such as in this example, where the online service provider shows terms as hyperlinks to another page using gray-colored and significantly smaller font compared to the rest of the text. This is the most common but problematic design, and we decided to examine it. In this research, we raised three questions. How design affects the opening rate of terms and conditions, how design affects awareness, and what is the association between decision-making styles, awareness, and satisfaction. Surprisingly, there is not that much research dedicated to design of terms and conditions. However, there are some studies that tackle this problem, and we decided to partially replicate one of those studies. Due to time constraints, I cannot represent the original study and our research in detail, but I invite those interested to read the paper for more information. To answer our research questions, we designed an online experiment. We collected data from Swedish population, and the total number of participants was 987. We introduced participants to the experiment with a short scenario asking them to imagine that they buy a t-shirt from a new vendor and that they might be more careful about who the vendor is. We also asked them to fantasize that all information that they provide to the vendor is theirs. Participants were asked to first select the product and then proceed to payment. We used the product selection page to increase ecological validity. Here, participants needed to select the t-shirt size, color, and the amount. After completing the selection, the button Till kassan to checkout was enabled. Next, participants were randomly assigned to one of four conditions representing different designs of the checkout page: control, icons, cost queue, and scroll. The checkout page looked almost the same in all experimental conditions. It only differed in the way terms and conditions were presented. We used the most commonly used design of terms and conditions, hidden as a hyperlink text, as a control condition. Participants had to tick the box that they read and agreed to the terms to complete their purchase. This looked for Shop It, complete the purchase. A button was disabled until the terms checkbox was checked. The icons condition was almost the same as the control. The only difference is that there were four icons accompanied by short explanatory text about some facts from the full text of the terms, for example, the return policy. The cost of queue condition was also like the control condition. The only difference was that it contained a visual cue nudging participants to read terms and conditions because it took only 5 minutes. The condition was different. The full text of the terms was displayed in a scrollable box. The participants needed to scroll it before they could check the I read and agree the terms box. This condition did not provide the hyperlink to the terms page, and because the full text was displayed in a scrollable box. I have to mention that the terms and conditions used in this study were slightly shorter than the typical terms. However, we consulted their content with the legal department from the Swedish Consumer Agency to ensure that all legally needed information is included. Next, we measured our outcome variables. Directly after clicking the Complete Purchase button, participants were presented with a question: how satisfied are you with your buying experience? To measure satisfaction, we used emojis to imitate the familiar satisfaction measuring push standalone kiosks. Next, we measured awareness. We asked participants 8 questions. 4 questions were about the information presented in the icons condition, so in the text accompanying icons, and the remaining 4 questions asked for the information included in the full text of the terms. We also calculated the mean of responses to all 8 questions to assess awareness of all information, so both in icons and beyond. In the experiment, we also assessed the opening rate of terms and conditions, but that was only possible in the control icons and cost queue conditions. And we wanted to investigate the relationship between satisfaction, awareness, and decision-making style. So we measured the decision-making style with previously validated scale that assesses rational and intuitive decision-making styles. We used statistical analysis on the collected data, and overall our results were similar to the results from the original study. And here are the main findings. Regarding the opening rate of the terms and conditions, our results show that cost queue has the most significant impact, with a 53% increase compared to the control condition. On the other hand, icons have the opposite effect. Presumably, people feel like they do not have to open the full terms because they are already provided with the critical information. Regarding awareness, we found that simple changes in the design, such as icons with text, significantly improve awareness of this information included in such text. Although in our case, this design had a positive impact on the user, in a real life, it could be easily misused as a form of dark pattern, providing users only with information that will convince them to continue with the purchase. We also found that the scroll design had the most substantial impact on the overall awareness of the terms. However, we must remember that our terms were well structured and shorter than the terms that some online services use, and still the mere exposure to the terms and forcing users to scroll through the text might affect the attention to terms and conditions texts. Lastly, but not least, we should not disregard the effects of the cost queue. Considering the awareness of the information from the full text of terms, the cost queue had been the most successful, although scroll condition performed almost the same. Such a simple nudge might encourage people to actually engage with the terms and spend more time on reading or scrolling through. And through the moderation model, we found that participants with higher scores in rationality and awareness were more satisfied. However, when the level of awareness was low, satisfaction scores decreased, even among participants with high scores in rationality. This suggests the possibility to increase satisfaction levels when applying designs that improve awareness, at least among more rationally decisive users. I have to note that our findings predominantly have small effect sizes. However, considering that many people interact with terms and conditions daily, we believe they are still meaningful. And with that, I would like to conclude my talk. I encourage you to read our paper, and I'm looking forward to your questions and feedback. Thank you.